Welcome back to Reddit Stories, where we uncover the velvet curtains of deception, the deepest secrets in every family, and the "Am I a bad person?" moments that make you wonder, am I living in a drama? Today, we're diving into a story that shook the community, a story that even TV writers would nod their heads in approval for its complexity, unexpected twists, and a shocking secret that could destroy not just one, but two families. What happens when you discover that your life, your relationship, and even your children's bloodline may have been built on a giant lie? The story is titled, "I think my husband fathered his best friend's children, and now one of them is attracted to my daughter." Is OP an overly suspicious wife, a pitiful victim of deception, or someone on the verge of a brutal truth? Find out and let us know what you think. This story comes from Reddit user UnravelingTruth. We'll call her OP, a woman who is facing a secret that could tear her life apart. OP has been married to her husband, whom we'll call husband David, for nearly 20 years. They have a teenage daughter, whom we'll call daughter Sarah. David has a best friend, a childhood confidant, named best friend Tom. Tom is married to his wife Laura, and they have two children, a teenage son Jake, and a younger daughter. The two families were so close that they considered each other as relatives. They often got together to eat, hang out, and their children grew up together, treating each other as cousins. Sarah and Jake, although not related by blood, were always very close and close. Everything seemed perfect, a strong friendship between two men and two harmonious families. Things started to get strange a few years ago, when OP started to notice a few unusual things. First, Jake looked strangely similar to David. Although Tom was Jake's biological father, Jake's facial features, especially his eyes and smile, were identical to David's. OP tried to dismiss this as a coincidence. Second, Tom and Laura have a complicated history. They had a brief separation about 15 years ago, right before Jake was born. During that time, David spent a lot of time comforting Laura. OP recalls David being at Laura's house a lot, saying it was to help Tom through his struggles, but OP felt something was off. David also always seemed a bit protective or specially interested in Jake more than the other kids. Third, there are a few anecdotal stories from former acquaintances implying that David and Laura had something going on during the time Tom and Laura were separated. OP had never paid much attention to these rumors, but now, with the pieces of the puzzle starting to come together, suspicion began to gnaw at her mind. The climax of the horror came when OP realized that Sarah and Jake were harboring special feelings for each other. They had been best friends since childhood, but recently, their attachment had crossed the line of close friendship. They were texting frequently, going on private dates, and even showing signs of romantic attraction. Sarah had confided in OP that she had a crush on Jake, and Jake had similar feelings. They were in their teens, and a romantic relationship might be forming. This hit OP hard. If her suspicions were correct, if David was indeed Jake's biological father, then Sarah and Jake would be half-siblings. A romantic relationship between them would be incestuous. This truth is too horrible to accept. OP can no longer live with this doubt. She has tried to talk to David delicately about the old photos, about Tom and Laura's separation, but David always avoids or gets angry. OP feels she needs to find out the truth, not only for herself, but also to protect her daughter from a wrong relationship. However, facing David, facing Tom and Laura, and exposing a secret that could destroy two families makes OP feel extremely desperate and scared. She doesn't know if she is a bad person for digging up the past and risking destroying everything. In search of answers and advice, OP posted her story on Reddit and asked the community AITA. OP's post exploded on Reddit, garnering tens of thousands of comments and hundreds of thousands of upvotes, becoming one of the most shocking and dramatic stories of all time. The topic touched the most sensitive nerves about trust, betrayal, morality, and family secrets. The community delivered a near-unanimous verdict. The vast majority of the Reddit community sided with OP, affirming that she was not a bad person at all. They emphasized that OP had a moral obligation to find out the truth, especially to protect her daughter. You need a DNA test immediately. This isn't just about betrayal. This is about potential incest between your daughter and Jake. You have a moral responsibility to find out the truth, not only for yourself, but for your daughter. This comment received tens of thousands of upvotes and multiple Reddit awards. Your husband's avoidance and anger when you bring this up is a clear sign that he has something to hide. Never believe his denials. Trust your instincts. This is a terrible situation, but you are not at fault. You are doing what is necessary to protect your family. All the lies will fall apart, and you are better off being the one to control that. Oh, the child looks exactly like your husband. Your husband's best friend got divorced at the right time, and now your children are in a relationship. Well, that's just a coincidence, right? I can't imagine what you're going through. This will be difficult, but you need to know the truth to protect your daughter from a terrible mistake. Neutral opinion. Very few comments fall into this category, mostly pointing out that this is a nobody, is a bad person's situation, but a tragedy caused by lies. NAO. This is a tragedy caused by the actions of adults in the past. OP has the right and needs to find out the truth. There will be a lot of pain, but the truth is better than lies. Criticizing the narrator. There are no significant comments in this category because the community is aware of the seriousness of the situation and OP's right to know the truth. In addition to the comment calling for immediate DNA testing, another comment has also touched the hearts of many people and caused an emotional storm because of its in-depth analysis of the consequences of lies and the need for the truth. NTA. The truth always finds a way to get out, and the longer it is buried, the more damage it does. If Jake is your husband's child, then this deception has gone on for too long and has caused terrible problems for your daughter. You are not destroying the family, you are exposing the buried truth. Be prepared for a storm, but you have to do this. This comment received thousands of upvotes and awards, emphasizing the psychological aspect of the story and the need for the truth. The Reddit community not only gave their verdict, but also actively interacted and expanded this thread into many deeper discussions, providing advice and sharing personal experiences. DNA testing advice. A series of comments advised the OP to secretly collect DNA samples from Jake and David for testing. Legal advice. Many advised the OP to seek legal advice before confronting anyone, to understand their rights. Psychological consequences for children. Discusses the terrible psychological impact on Sarah and Jake if the truth is revealed. Inbreeding issues. Discussions about the genetic and social risks of inbreeding. Personal experiences of betrayal and family secrets. Many people share their stories personal about discovering a family secret or being betrayed. Marriage family therapy. Suggests seeking professional help to cope with this crisis. Overall, the Reddit community has been overwhelmingly supportive of the OP, urging her to find the truth at all costs to protect her daughter. After receiving overwhelming support and strategic advice from the Reddit community, OP found the strength to face this difficult situation. She had some important updates about what happened next and how she's feeling. Summary of updates. OP secretly took a DNA test. Following the community's advice, OP secretly collected DNA samples from David, e.g., a hair on a toothbrush, and Jake, e.g., a comb Jake used when he came over. She sent the samples to an independent lab for testing. The test results, and just as OP had suspected, the results confirmed that David is Jake's biological father. OP's reaction. OP was devastated, but not surprised. She felt a mixture of hurt, anger, and a strange sense of relief at knowing the truth. Confronting David. OP confronted David. David initially tried to weakly deny it, but when OP showed him the DNA test evidence, he completely collapsed. David admitted that he and Laura had been having an affair while Tom and Laura were separated. Close, and he has lived in constant fear that this secret will be exposed. He apologized to OP and begged for forgiveness, saying that he was too cowardly to face the truth. Situation with Sarah and Jake. OP has spoken privately with Sarah. Sarah is shocked and devastated to learn that Jake is her half-brother. She is heartbroken and upset about her failed relationship with Jake. OP is trying to support her daughter through this difficult time. Next plan. OP is considering divorce from David. She will also talk to Tom and Laura, knowing that this will completely destroy their friendship and both families. OP is seeking legal and psychological counseling to deal with what is about to happen. OP currently feels extremely miserable, betrayed, and lost. The life she believed in has completely collapsed. However, she also feels vindicated for trusting her intuition and finding out the truth. Although in a time of uncertainty and tears, OP knows that finding out the truth is the first step to rebuilding her life on a more honest footing. She is focused on protecting and supporting her daughter Sarah through this shock. OP's story is a heartbreaking testament to how lies and secrets, no matter how long they are buried, will one day be exposed and cause terrible consequences. It highlights core issues of trust, betrayal, morality, and the importance of truth. Conflicted emotions in the story OP's. Initially, anxiety, doubt, then horror and despair when faced with the possibility of truth. When the truth is revealed, there is a feeling of extreme pain, betrayal, anger, but also relief and vindication. David's husband, possibly fear of the secret being exposed, remorse for past actions, and finally a breakdown when confronted with the evidence. Laura's, Tom's wife, possibly years of concealment, manipulation, and avoidance of responsibility. Tom's, David's best friend, the innocent victim of deception, will likely experience deep feelings of betrayal, anger, and grief. Sarah and Jake's, their emotions will be shock, grief, confusion, and hurt when their relationship is destroyed by an unexpected truth. The Reddit community, in this case, acted as a strategic advisor and an important emotional support system. They not only provided strong psychological support to OP, helping her overcome her fears and self-doubts, but also gave practical and concrete advice, such as secret DNA testing, that helped OP find the truth effectively. This proves that Reddit can be a valuable resource for seeking support, advice, and motivation when facing life's greatest challenges. Character analysis. OP narrator represents a resilient wife, a responsible mother, who is not afraid to face the most terrible truths to protect her children and seek the truth for her life. Husband David represents a man who made a serious mistake in the past and lived in cowardice, hiding the truth for decades, causing unpredictable consequences. Best friend Tom, the pitiful victim of an ultimate betrayal from both his wife and his best friend. Wife Laura, a character who has deliberately lied and hidden the truth for a long time, manipulating the lives of many people. Sarah and Jake, two innocent victims of adult deception, put in the most awkward and painful situation. Lessons learned. The truth always comes out. No matter how well hidden, big secrets will eventually be revealed, and often with much greater consequences than facing them sooner. Consequences of betrayal. Betrayal of trust in marriage and friendship can destroy not just one, but many relationships, causing lasting pain for all involved. The importance of DNA testing. In cases of doubtful parentage, DNA testing is the most reliable scientific tool for finding the truth and resolving the uncertainties. Protecting children is a top priority. When secrets are discovered that could seriously affect children, it is the responsibility of parents to act immediately to protect them, no matter how difficult it may be. Inbreeding is a serious issue. The story highlights the importance of being aware of inbreeding relationships and their consequences, both genetic and social. The price of cowardice. Cowardice in facing mistakes can lead to years of hiding the truth, building up into a time bomb that can explode at any time. Don't ignore your intuition. Your intuition is often a reliable compass. If something doesn't feel right, listen to it and seek the truth. OP's story is a clear proof that life is not always a fairy tale. Sometimes it is a psychological thriller where the darkest secrets can be lurking right under our noses. It is a profound reminder of the importance of honesty, transparency in every relationship, and facing the truth, no matter how devastating it is. Because only when we face the truth can we begin the process of healing and rebuilding our lives. What do you think of this shocking story? If you were OP, how would you handle this situation next? Have you ever known a terrible family secret? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Thanks for following Reddit Stories. See you in the next story.